Hello, everybody. We're looking at Aries for February 2020. This is Leah at Fresh Astrology, and I'm joined today by my coaching company colleagues. This is Mimi over here.
Hello.
Carolyn.
Hey, everyone.
And we're here today because we're going to look at what's happening in February for the astrology, but we're also looking at how can you actually take charge of yourself and your life, given the astrology, given where you feel the challenge or the inspiration. How do you take the idea of the astrology and turn it into action for yourself? How do you turn the seed of an idea into motivation and actually do something to change your life? You know, it's one thing to know about the astrology. It's another thing to be able to work with it. Hi, I see TLL. Is that right? TLL? Is that what it looks like? the typing is very small, so I struggle with it. And hi, is it Angie or what is?
Yep, Angie.
Angie, is this a good? Yeah, this is for Aries rising, sun, and moon. Yes, so you have Aries rising. It's perfect because the way the charts rotated and aligned, it's perfect for Aries rising, but also Aries sun and Aries moon to some extent. But I would say it's more for sun and rising.
I'm Aries, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, so Mimi's
I'm glad
Aries.
we're starting at Aries.
Yeah. Aries always wants to be first. Yeah. So in terms of the astrology, what I've been saying inside my membership lounge to people is that this year is going to be kind of like this. And this is sort of true in real life all the time. But the intensity of the year with the Pluto-Saturn conjunction and all the stuff happening in Capricorn is when we're kind of up here. You know, there's like this heightened intensity. And so that's how we started January. And then we go down in February, and it's a little less intense. There are other things going on. It's not just Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. And so February is going to be a little like, there's still stuff to do. We still have Mars changing and going into a new sign and adding some fire and motivation and inspiration. But in terms of intensity level, February is more like a little dip. And that doesn't mean every day is like filled with, you know, daisies and lollipops, but in terms of just vibrational intensity, it goes, and then March, we're gearing up for it goes back up again. So, okay, let's see if there's anything else here. I'm reading, when I stop, I'm reading, oh, a miracle financial windfall Angie is waiting for. Awesome.
I'm with you.
Awesome. And the thing is, what are you doing, Angie, to like, because what the reason we're joined by my wonderful genius colleagues, you know, from Camille is we're going to talk to you about how do you help make it happen? How do you help make it happen?
That's what I think about when you talk to me about the astrology, because I'm not as well versed, obviously, as you are, and I'm learning, but I always think, okay, so that's the astrology. How do I partner with it to make
the things
that I want to have happen? Yeah. So
partnering with.
Yeah. So there's the astrology and then there's me. But if we could partner with each other, then it's kind of like an accelerator, right? It's
like a guidance. I always think it's like it's a guidance. And so it's like, okay, so it's telling me that if I focus on these things and work towards these things, that's where I'll be most successful.
Right. Yeah. So if you're working, like if you are ready to manifest financial money miracle.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, go for it.
So how do you partner with that?
How do you partner with that? So in terms of the astrology, let's see what the astrology says. Vision board. Vision board is actually a really good thing to do. So for Aries, as most of you probably know, you've got the intensity up in the 10th house of career. So that has a lot, you know, that can play into a money miracle, definitely. You have Uranus in your second house, another money house and work house. And it is, I have to emphasize that the second house is where you work for your money. You have to put forth effort. And Uranus says, think out of the box, use electronics, use high technology, be a maverick, go for it. It's more go for it energy. And Aries is good at that. Like you guys are good at go for it kinds of things. And wouldn't you say, Mimi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a worker. I'm okay.
She's a worker.
I
and
don't find that daunting.
Yeah. And she's got this innate, I don't know if she feels inside like she has courage, but she appears to have courage. And that's very true of Aries as well. So in the month of February, some of the energy in Capricorn dissipates because we have the sun in Aquarius. We have Mercury in Aquarius, and then it goes into Pisces, and then does a retrograde. So the retrograde starts on the 16th, but of course it's starting a little before then. And so we have at least half of February and probably a little more where we're under a Mercury retrograde. This is happening in the area. I think of it like I was explaining to Carolyn yesterday, I think of it like a doorway or a threshold. And that doorway is opening for you. And the Mercury retrograde kind of going back and forth through this doorway emphasizes the doorway metaphor, where you're kind of going back and forth between your social self and moving out towards your future and then going inward. It's like a little dance between going out, coming in, going out, coming in. So it's like you plan and you go out and do stuff, and then you need to kind of go in and think or recharge your batteries. So there's a little of both. So there's a little out in public and a little behind the scenes. So however that plays into what you are actually doing. Mercury also governs language, public speaking, social media nowadays. And the 11th house, where Mercury's kind of wobbling toward that, coming out of this 11th house area, also shows social media marketing, putting yourself out there. These days often means online. So what are you doing in that space, or are you doing anything in that space? For some of you, it also means February is a time when you might want a little restorative getaway or a spa retreat.
That would be very exciting.
Spa retreat. And that might just sound really good in February. So the other thing happening in the same kind of few degrees in the sky between Aquarius and early Pisces is we have the new moon in Pisces coming up February 23rd. So in that week, there's this activity around this kind of threshold between your public space and pushing yourself out there and your private space of coming in to think and rethink, replan, recharge, anything that starts with the RE. And just be aware you're going to toggle back and forth between these two things. But do be aware of the need to recharge your batteries, is what I would say. And use that because it'll allow you, you don't want to burn the candle at both ends during this time. And you're going to feel a lot of pressure to do so because you've got Mars going over your midheaven. So for you to be effective and create that money miracle, you don't want to just push yourself with no recharging and no regrouping. You're going to have to do a little of both so that you can stay effective and efficient and productive and get the outcome that you want. But with Mars going over your midheaven, it is a great time to start a new job, start a new project, really throw your energy into your career. I think the message here, there just has to be some balance so you don't burn out and fizzle.
That's how I like to work anyway.
Yeah.
Really hard and then kind of step back, evaluate, see what's working, push really hard again.
Yes.
So there was one question from somebody that's not an Aries that says, I was trying to read. They're trying to ask a question
so small,
about the north-south nodes and couldn't. The actual positions are the opposite in my natal chart nodes. What to do?
I would wait till we do your sign because I don't want to take up Aries time going off on that question, although it's a really good question. So come in. We're going to just sit here today. We were supposed to announce, so darn, we didn't do it. But we're just going to sit here today. This is real time. This is live. And we're just going to power through all 12 signs. So you can just go grab some coffee or tea or soup or something.
We'll get there.
Yeah, popcorn and just like sit here and with us all day. Yeah, don't apologize.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Never apologize for a question. I just think to keep everybody on track.
And remind us when we get to your sign.
Remind
circle
us. Okay, 25 years of serving, I'm burned out. Yes. and you know that. So what are you going to do?
Awareness is the first step.
Yeah, awareness is the first step.
So the tools.
Yeah, so the tools. So what do you guys think of tools here? Because they're dealing with burnout,
money manifestation,
money miracles, and they're dealing with a lot of career activity and the need to balance back in their mind and emotional world.
Yeah.
So mental,
I can tell you
emotional.
from Aries, like when I first, I've known Lee for a very long time, well over 20 years. But when we started connecting on a business level and talking about
30
business,
plus years, she's
Oh,
forgetting
goodness.
how old we are.
Yeah. And then she started working with me on my mindset. So
Yeah.
since then, my motto has been like, mindset is everything. It all starts with mindset. So we have a bullet journal that's not, and our bullet journals are free. That's not specifically mindset, but it's about happiness. So a lot of the tools that are in that will kind of help you sort of get it
Shift your
focused and
mindset,
get a sense of what your mind is.
7 days of exercises. It's fun. They're very powerful, but you don't feel like you're really working because they really are
They're not
creative and fun. And that's a light-handed way to approach it if you're just looking for a tool that's free, that's accessible, that's quick, that's powerful. But if you're ready to dig in, the mindset course would be the way to go. And that's still so affordable. I mean, it's so affordable.
Yeah, that's our foundational course. And so we made it really affordable because everybody who does anything with us needs to get kind of on top of the mindset tools. So we purposefully made it very affordable for that reason, because it really is what we build everything else on. Yeah. And the Happiness Shift Bullet Journal, we just love the name Happiness, but it's really a mindset shift journal.
Yeah.
So
and it's fun.
I
do the exercises over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a practice that I struggle with. Like, I know that mindset is a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know calming down and sitting and being introspective is a struggle for me. So I like these because they're kind of fun and I get to get the colored pencils out. Yeah. So
and they're so short. They're tiny little exercise daily. Bullet journal means it's short and small, concise. It's great. It's perfect for an Aries. Mm-hmm. And the sense of play, and it's only 7 days. Another good thing. Yeah. Like if I said, here's your 500-day journal meeting, you would be like, no thanks. Do you have a 7-day version? Because I'll take that.
And I like it because it has prompts that kind of get you
short prompts.
Yeah. But also the 7 days, you can do it 7 days and then 7 more days. And you return to the
rinse and repeat.
See the evolution of your thought process and how.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but you think that right now Aries is poised in a good money spot?
Well, yeah, because you have Jupiter in your 10th house, along with the stuff going on at Uranus in your 2nd house. I think if you're proactive in using this energy in a I'm in charge kind of way, like I'm behind the steering wheel, I am driving this car kind of way, yes. I think even if you just sat back like a couch potato, there'd be some benefit, but even Jupiter can backfire on you. You want to kind of be in charge of Jupiter too, even though it's a lucky planet and typically good here in terms of opportunity. Yeah. And opportunity is there.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and we were talking about mindset and energy levels and outcomes. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting because we were talking about that the energy that you enter into a project with is going to be that the energy that you become successful. So if you come into it with it, because I was complaining about something that I had to do, and she was helping me like flip that energy into like, okay, if I go into it with a sense of dread, no matter what my outcome is going to be, I'm going to feel about that with that same sense of dread. Like, oh, I've done this and I, done it. But if I could flip it and say, oh, well, the reason I need to focus on this is because of that. So I went into it with a more joyful, positive energy, then the outcome for me would be more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a really
nice spin on that. I thank you for bringing that up for everybody because that's a really good tool, you guys, to go at your goals the whole way through with the best attitude possible. Is a good manifestation tool and a good miracle of money tool too. So we can get on to Taurus. We need to wrap up. So what do we want to say I know we want to let you know that the links for the Happiness Shift Bullet Journal are below. And I would love you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And anything else, guys? Any other questions here? Not see anything. Okay. We good? All right. Bye, everybody. If you want to hang in, we're
Bye,
here.
my Aries friends.
Yeah. We're here all day long. So we will see you in the next minute, actually. All right. Bye.